We live in an age where you can go down to your local supermarket and pick up an 8K camera. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make it look like complete and utter crap. Using Apple Motion, I'm going to show you how to build a CRT effect for Final Cut Pro that you can use over and over again. If you are a Patreon member, I'm going to have this as a download all ready for you, or you can pick it up as a one-time purchase over on my Patreon shop. First things first, go ahead and open up Apple Motion. If you don't get the project browser, you can always go up to File, then select New from Project Browser. For this project, we're going to, of course, need to select the Final Cut effect. Over here in the top right, you can set your preset and frame rate to whatever you like. It really doesn't matter. Then from there, we can push open. Now, the first step I'm going to take is adding in a video so I can clearly see what the different effects are doing. This is not a necessary step, it's just a helpful one. So to do so, I'll just drag some footage from Finder directly onto my effect source, and it should be loaded in just like so. So the first filter we need to add is a pixelation effect. So let's go up to Filters, we'll go down to Stylize, and we'll select the Pixelate filter. Going over to the left side, we'll find our inspector, and I happen to like how setting this to a scale of 5 looks. Keeps it subtle, but it really helps the effect along. The next filter I want to add is a Prism effect. So to do so, let's find our effect source, go to Filters, Blur, and Prism. And this will just give us that nice subtle fringing that happens on a lot of CRT TVs where your red and blue channels aren't quite perfectly lined up. So it can look something like this. This can of course be adjusted to your liking, but I find that subtlety is king when you're making this effect. Next, let's go ahead and find our effect source, filters, and I would like to add in a vignette effect. So we'll go down to Stylize once again, hanging out here in the Stylize filters quite a bit, and we'll go to Vignette. From there, we can scale this down quite a lot, including the outer edge to somewhere in there. That's looking pretty good. Then we'll head on over here to the left side and increase the darkening amount quite a bit. And I also happen to like how dragging up the blur amount affects the image. Now that we have our vignette in place, it's time to add some contrast because CRT TVs tend to have a high amount of contrast. So let's recreate that. To do so, we'll select our effect source, go to Filters. This time we're in the color filters, and we are going to locate the color curves. From there, we're going to come over here to the left side, and we'll greatly increase these curves so that we've got some darkening here in the shadows and some brightening in the highlights, and that's just going to give us a good amount of contrast. And that's looking pretty solid. My vignette might be coming in a little bit too strong, so let's go ahead and adjust the feathering on that and get it to a place of our liking. Somewhere in there is looking pretty good. Now, another hugely important part of CRT TVs is, of course, the static that's included. Let's go ahead and find our effect source once again, go to Filters, Stylize, and select Add Noise. From there, we can go over here to the left side and change it to TV static, and you can increase or decrease the amount of that static to your own liking. So this is all well and good, but a hugely important part of CRT TVs is that you can clearly see the pixels because this was pre-Retina display. So we'll go over to our library and we're going to locate our generators. And from our generators, you should be able to find this grid generator. So I'm just going to click and drag this into the same group that has our effect source. From there, we'll go to our inspector and let's just drag the background opacity to 0. We'll set the color of the grid to black and we'll set our line width all the way down to 1. And then we're going to set our background width and height down to a level of 4. Now the grid is coming in a little bit strong because it's that black color. So we can fix that just by jumping over to our properties and backing off the opacity. And I find around 50 to 60% is pretty good. You can set this to a level of your liking. Now, another key part of CRT TVs is the small amount of distortion that you get because it's kind of like a giant lens for your glass screen. So let's go ahead and select the group that contains everything, including the grid, and we'll go up to our filters. Then we'll go down to distortion, and this time we're going to select the Bulge filter. From there, we'll go over to the left side and drag up the amount slider all the way. And if it doesn't quite reach outside of the outer edges, you can actually just click directly on that number and get it so that all of the edges are contained within the Bulge filter. Now, I find that this 0.5 amount is a little bit too strong. So I set this to a value of 0.9, and I find that it's a nice amount of distortion where it's not taking it too far, but it does improve that CRT filter effect. Another important part of CRTs is kind of the blooming that comes with them. So to do so, we'll select the effect source that has all of the different effects, and we're going to push K. This is going to create a clone layer, and that clone layer receives all of the various effects that we've applied to the original effect source, but it's its own layer, so we can apply different filters to that same layer. From there, let's go up to our filters. Then we'll go to blur, and we're going to apply the Gaussian blur effect. After that, we'll just drag up the amount quite a bit here, and now we have completely blurred our image. From there, let's go over to our properties, and we'll find the blend mode. Right now it's set to normal. Let's just set that to screen. This is going to overexpose our entire image, so we just need to drop down the opacity to get a nice subtle blooming to the entire image, and that is looking pretty good. So this is all well and good, but I want to add one more key feature that I see, not specifically for CRT effects, but a lot of VHSs and such had this particular trait, and I feel like it really adds to it. And that is just a lot of static near one of the edges of the image. To recreate this effect, we're going to go over to the library, and we'll go to our generators. Once again, we'll locate the color solid. Go ahead and just drag this in underneath the grid, but you can have it above both of the other layers. From there, we'll go to our inspector and set the color of this to black. Next, we're just going to go to our filters. We'll go to stylize, and we're going to select add noise. After that, I want to change the type from white noise over to TV static and greatly increase the amount as high as it possibly can go. So if you click directly on it and drag up, that'll let you set it to a value of 4. Next, let's go to the properties and change the blend mode of our image over to screen, and that is going to remove the dark parts of our color solid. So now just the light parts are coming through. After that, I'm going to right click on our color solid and set it into a group. This is because I want to scale up our color solid, but unfortunately the add noise is applied separately from the scale of our color solid. So to get around that, we're going to scale up the group that contains the color solid, and that'll give us more control. And that's looking pretty good. After that, I want to go ahead and add a mask to this color solid. So I'm going to click the mask button and just click and drag along the bottom edge here. You can adjust this to your liking, then go to your mask and greatly increase the feather on that. And it looks like we kind of lost our blend mode with all of this. So what we can do is go over to our properties and reset the blend mode of the group that contains the color solid and set that back to screen. So that's going to give us a fun static filter here on the bottom of our image. And you can dial this in to your liking using the opacity slider, but I think that looks super fun. Last but not least, CRT TVs were typically more of a 4:3 aspect ratio. So let's recreate that effect. I'm going to collapse everything, and we could just call this the everything group. And let's right click and create a new group, and we're going to call this group the masking group. With the masking group selected, let's select our rectangle tool and just create a basic rectangle. It doesn't matter the scale. From there, we can go to the left side and right click on the position and reset that so it's directly in the middle. Then let's go to the shape settings. Under geometry, locate the size, and let's set this to a value of 720 by 480, and that's going to give us a 4:3 aspect ratio. From there, we can go ahead and go into the style settings and greatly increase the feather. I find 100's a pretty good value. Then we can go to our properties and scale up the entire rectangle so it fills our image, and that's looking pretty good. Somewhere in the 318 mark is looking great. And finally, we can right-click on the everything group and select Add Image Mask. Then we'll just drag our rectangle into that mask source, and now we have cut it out to a 4:3 image. So we've created the filter effect, and we want to send this over to Final Cut Pro, but there's definitely some preparation you should do beforehand so that you have better control when you get into Final Cut. We have our effect source, which has this video file in it, and that video file is over 1 GB in size. To greatly reduce the size of this effect, all you need to do is select that effect source and go over here to the left and clear it. Next, you'll want to go through and find stuff like your grid and go to the properties, and you'll see the opacity here. So if you want further control over this in Final Cut Pro, you'll want to publish each of these. So we'll publish that. We can go into our clone settings and publish the opacity on that and even maybe the blend mode. So just make sure you go through all of the various filters we've added and publish the different aspects that you might want to adjust inside of Final Cut Pro. This is going to make it so you have way more control, which is going to be incredibly useful. And one further tip of organization is we can actually just go to our project settings under project, and you'll see it's kind of hard to tell what these different values are adjusting. So you could just double click on it and you could just type in grid opacity. And so now we clearly understand what this particular value is adjusting, which is really incredible. Once you've got everything ready to publish over to Final Cut Pro, all you need to do is push Command S to save, or you can go up to File and select Save. And we can just call this the CRT filter. From there, you can throw it into any category, and I'm going to throw this into my FCB's Patreon into the effects theme and push publish. So now this should be available over in Final Cut Pro. Let's go ahead. I'm going to push O at the end of my timeline and then Option A to add in an adjustment clip. Then I'm going to apply the CRT filter onto it, and we can see this effect taking place. It looks really, really good if you ask me. I just love the extra static bits at the bottom. And of course, we have full control over grid opacity and the blooming. And like I mentioned before, you can pick this up over on Patreon. You can get it as a one-time download for just $5, or if you're a Patreon member, you can download it as well as all of my other downloads. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And with that being said, I cannot wait to see you in the next one.